someone tells me she spent 5 million naira in house rent in Lagos, I will not be surprised. Hey loves, what's up? Welcome back. So today's video is just us gisting, sharing some tea about house rent in Lagos, right? I'm going to talk about my own personal experience when it comes to house rent and living alone in Lagos and navigating that hurdle it is, and also just share with you guys what you need to know about accommodations in Lagos in case you're looking to move to Lagos, or maybe you're looking to move from home to your own personal space. Yeah, I'm going to just share some tips with my own experience. So I moved to Lagos in 2018, so this is my 5th year in Lagos, I believe. And when I moved to Lagos, the first thing that actually shocked me was how expensive the house rents are. I could not believe it, and quite frankly, I was not prepared. I think I've said this a couple of times, but I moved to Lagos through my NYSC. I wanted to come to Lagos to do my NYSC and stay back, right? Now, I'm not someone who is quite adventurous, so I've not been to Lagos before. I've not traveled a lot. So that was such a bold move, and because I didn't want anything to discourage me, I didn't even bother to ask too much questions, right? I just felt like, well, it cannot be that bad. Anyhow, we are going to sort it out. So the house rent thing just kind of really shocked me, right? So my first apartment was, first of all, before I even got the apartment, it took me like 5 months. Oh my goodness, it was such a difficult period of my life looking for house in Lagos. I had to, try to save up money because what I had was basically what I was paying in Enugu. I thought somehow that was what I'm going to spend in Lagos, but it wasn't even, it was just way more than that. So that was a challenge, and then getting a place that actually made sense was a challenge, right? So when I first came, I didn't want to, move too far. There is Lekki Phase 1, there is Ekate all the way. So I didn't want to move too far. But eventually I had to get a place somewhere in Ajah, right? Because that was where I could afford at the time. And my first apartment was a shared apartment. One thing with Lagos is that you rarely ever get a 1-bedroom that made sense, right? It's always rubbish, absolute rubbish. And one thing I wanted to make sure of is that I got a place that made sense, so I can stay back after my NYSC because I wanted to live in Lagos. I knew that if I got a place that was so terrible, I'll be so frustrated. I'll just go back home after my NYSC because I can't kill myself. So I wanted to get a place that at least I could comfortably stay back and while I hustle and just find my footing and everything. So finally, after a long story and after such a long time of tears and all of that, I got an apartment. So it's a shared apartment. In Lagos they do that a lot, right? So you will see a 2-bedroom and then they will share the room one by one, including the parlor. So people end up being like 3 in the whole apartment. So yeah, that's what I got at the time. I had 2 other neighbors. So one was in the parlor, one was in the other room, and I was in one room. That's like the 3 of us, and we shared a kitchen. Each room is like had a bathroom and a toilet, but it was a very small space. And at the time it made sense. I was really grateful for it because I had suffered so much and everything. After my first year, second year, I was growing, I was finding my footing. I was just better than I was when I first moved to Lagos. So I know that it was time for me to make a change, right? And then I started looking for a house again, and then I found this place, right? So this is my second apartment in Lagos. So this apartment, I feel like I've done, like, you guys probably have seen it in my vlogs, and I did my living room tour as well. So this apartment is a room and parlor. It's a mini flat, they call it. So a room, a parlor, a kitchen, and it's just a good place. When I found the place, I was genuinely happy because it was such an upgrade from where I was coming from. But everything was just better, and with that betterness comes you get it? With that betterness comes the bill. Like, to find a place, when I was looking for this apartment, I was shocked at how expensive to get something as little as a room and parlor is. Like, it is so freaking expensive. My mind, like, it blew my mind. At some point I didn't even want to, but I had someone tell me, hey, you have to actually just make a move. You can't be there forever, and the more you try to upgrade, the more you feel challenged to do better. So I want to share some details about what affects house rents in Lagos, what to look out for, and in case you're looking for an apartment and all of that, before I kind of circle back to this place that I'm living in. because Lagos landlord will not finish person. So I feel like it's a general knowledge that houses on the mainland are slightly cheaper than the ones on the island, depending on where on the mainland, because some places on the mainland is still quite expensive, but generally houses on the mainland is slightly cheaper, right? So I live on the island, right? So that's where I kind of know, have been around and all of that. And in the island, there is VI, there's Ikoyi, VI, Lekki Phase 1, and then you're coming down to Kate, Chevron, Aja, Shangotedo, Abraham Adesenye, Epe, and the farther you go, the slightly cheaper the part of your house rent might be, because obviously there's factors that affect this thing. One, traffic, right? If you're coming from Epe and going to Lekki Phase 1, you know how long you will spend on the road, right? Traffic in the morning and all of that, so that's a factor. So houses on Ikoyi, VI, Lekki Phase 1, they tend to cost a bit more because of proximity to God knows where. And the crazy thing is that these houses, if you see them, you would scream. You would be shocked at how someone is boldly telling you it's 3 million. The second factor is the apartment itself. So is it serviced or self-serviced? Serviced apartments tend to cost more, even though you're paying something separate for the service. You're paying the service charge, but because of that paparazzi of its service, which is actually a good thing, my apartment is serviced, it just tend to cost more, right? It just costs more. That's a factor. So another thing itself will be the location. Apart from like the area, the location itself, but some areas in Lekki Phase 1 may not be as good as, so that one is also like a factor. So is it in an estate? Is it along the road? To be honest, anywhere it is, if they want to charge ridiculous amount of money, they will still charge, right? Because I know when I was looking for an apartment, I saw one house that was just along the road, and the amount they call for me, I'm like, is this a joke? So, but that also is a factor, right? So yeah, that's basically it. And then the apartment itself, how it looks, the aesthetic. So these are the things I believe would affect, the price tag that they will put on the house rent. I could be forgetting some things, but these are the ones that I can remember at the moment. So back to my own apartment, like I said before, and like you guys have probably seen in my videos, it's a room and a parlor, a mini flat. So I have this parlor, I've done a room tour, showing you guys. It's quite spacious, it's not tiny, and it's perfect for me as a single lady living alone and all of that. And I also have a bedroom that is not tiny actually. I have a very nice toilet and bath, a guest toilet, I have a kitchen, I have a corridor, and yeah, it's pretty okay. To the question that people always ask me, if I want to get something like this, what's the range, what should my budget be, and all of that, and I will give you a range. Your budget for house rent should be within the range of 1.2 to 2 million naira. Now obviously when you're moving in for the first time, you have other things you're paying for. You're paying for agent fee, a lawyer fee, this one fee, so that will be more, right? And also, like I said, if it's service or not service, that's a different fee altogether depending on the apartment. So all of these things is what you have to bear in mind. So you know how the economy is kind of like turning on its own, and things are getting more expensive. New houses would tend to be more expensive, right? So really there's a lot of things that affects these things, and yeah, it's crazy like that, but God will help us all. But yeah, that's really all it for this video. I hope I kind of touched the important points and did not blab too much. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.